Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to find an angle to the race that we might look back on later as having been a path to finding the winner. Well, Sha Tin on Sunday, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 6, and here our winning factor, the unbeaten horse. Now the horse who will get all the attention here is John Sy's trained Scores of Fun. Debut winner in May and reappearing for the first time this season. I think Stock Legend will have some admirers in this race at his first run for Francis Loy. And back up to the top of the field, Classic Posh, well, he's honest and he gets a big weight claim for apprentice Jerry Chow. But look, in all honesty, this race is going to be all about Scores of Fun. And we're going to take a look now and see why that is. And we have to go back to May this year. This is race 684 last season. And you see him here in the blue and white colours. He draws inside. He isn't the best out of the gates, but he quickly gets up into a trail behind the leaders. And take a look at the heat map. The fastest parts of the race were the first 800 metres, particularly the middle split. And Scores of Fun, he was up there on the pace, doing some work to get there. And you'll also see on the heat map, very slow the final 400 metres. He got very tired in the final stages, but he managed to cling on and win the race by a neck. Now, I guess to the eye that was nothing special. He certainly didn't beat anything of note, but the allure of the unbeaten horse is very strong. Now, soon after that run, Scores of Fun disappeared from the track work, and as there was no injury reported, I think we can assume that John Sy's put him aside to rest during the summer break and come back as a stronger 4-year-old this season, and that's where we see him on Sunday. He won't surprise anyone if he wins, but I guess from a betting point of view, what we have to ask ourselves is he a good bet? And when we look at this graphic I've got on the screen now about unbeaten horses over the last 5 years, the answer is probably a good yes. There are a lot of numbers here to consume. I'll leave that to you, but I want to highlight a couple of things. In the columns on the left are the horses who were unbeaten after one start and how they fared, and the expectations of them. On the right, when they were unbeaten after 2 starts. And the numbers I particularly want to point you to are the ones next to John Sy's name. You see his good record with these unbeaten horses. His wins exceed his expected wins, and that's always a good pointer as a bet. And the figures at the foot of the table, well, these are probably even more crucial. In a general sense, debutant winners from all stables exceed market expectations when they step out next time, and are also a good bet. Well, on the right of the table you see the records of horses who've already won their first 2 starts, fewer of them of course, and that will have some relevance later in the card for Winning Dreamer, the favourite in race 9. All in all, we can conclude that it isn't just a blue sky and imagination. There is a relevant positive expectation of these unbeaten horses, and when we go to the map for race 6 on Sunday, there's no reason to think that that part of it is going to be a problem for Scores of Fun. Certainly nothing to put you off taking what is going to be quite a short price. It looks a little bit of a messy race, to be honest, with no set leaders, but we did see Scores of Fun handy there to a solid pace in his debut, so he might sit just behind the lead, or if the pace is slower than average, which we anticipate, he may even go to the front and control the race himself. So the tip in race 6, Scores of Fun, his winning factor, the unbeaten horse. Yes, we do have high expectations for horses that have never lost a race, but the figures do show that it's not all just expectations and fantasy. There is a good betting angle to it. The second race I want to take a look at from Sunday's meeting is race 8, and our winning factor here, the distance. Now, I think the likely favourite here is the bottom weight, Chevalier Prince resuming. The Rock looks strong. Regency Bobo and Simple Elegant have claims. Evergreen Great Treasure is returned in good form, and even the stayer above now with the stable transfer ace Tony Millard has sprinted well fresh in the past. So there are a few with some prospects in this race, but I think that the punters are going to zero in on two in particular here. The Casper Founds trained the Rock and Chevalier Prince, a last start beaten favourite. Well, first of all, let's take a look at the Rock, and this is a trial on September 11, and in this trial you can smell what Founds is cooking with the Rock first up here in the blue and white colours. He works through to sit second into the home straight, and then you see Joe Moreira just sits on him down the stretch, no pressure, and just lets another horse go past him in the final stages. And running on behind him there in the red and yellow colours you see above, but under quite a bit of riding from Antoine the Hammer Hamlin. It was a trial that said the Rock is coming to the races in good shape, and the Found stable, of course, on fire at the moment, so he's going to have plenty of admirers. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Chevalier Prince's most recent start. Now we have to go back to last season for this race, 797, and he's here in the predominantly red colours, getting beaten as a warm favourite at 1600 metres after some excellent 1400 metre runs. And note the heat map here, there were no rests during this race. A very strong second section, and even the speed either side was pretty sound, so that this was a truly run race. Chevalier Prince got a good ride from Zach Purton, but So We Joy probably got an even better one from Moreira. Chevalier Prince gets put into the picture, beats the rest well, but So We Joy proves the stronger miler. Now that was in Class 4. Chevalier Prince moves up to Class 3 now with a big weight drop in the handicaps, but I think more importantly comes back to 1400 metres, a distance at which he had previously looked very strong. On the map, well, this does look a little bit tricky. We do have some committed leader types, Simple Elegant, Taking Aim, Regency Bobo if he jumps cleanly with them. And the Rock's tactics are still a bit fluid at this stage of his Hong Kong career, so he could be back or roll forward from a wider gate. It's not impossible we could get a decent tempo, but I'm leaning towards a slightly slower pace, and we'll be looking for Karis Teton to continue his brilliant form and find a spot wide with some cover on Chevalier Prince, so that those handicaps and the drop back in distance can do their magic. So the tip in race 8, Chevalier Prince. His winning factor, the distance. Yes, he certainly had every chance and no excuses as a beaten favourite last time in Class 4, but I do think that coming back to 1400 metres could be the vital clue for this horse. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next time.